See, I'd like to think I'm the person who doesn't care about what anyone else thinks, but I'm just not that person. I care to some degree. I care less than I used to care. That's what's important. When you let other people's opinions of you literally control every aspect of your life, it can become so toxic. And I know because I've been there. I was, the definition of a people pleaser. I would let every single person's opinion dictate every decision I made. My looks, my intellectual abilities, where I was going, who I was friends with, what I was doing on a daily basis. Constantly thinking about every single move that I make. How would it affect this person or that person? I mean, it's insane to think about now. But I still do care what other people think. In today's video, I want to talk about belonging. And I know that seems like it's nothing to do with what I just talked about, but it is. And we'll get there. Just trust me. Before we get into the video though, I just want to welcome those of you who are new here. My name is Bridget. On this channel, you'll find me talk a lot about mental health related things. I talk a lot about general anxiety, social anxiety, talk about introverts, I talk about my favorite books. So if any of that is of interest to you, make sure you check out some of my other videos. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful or useful, comment below what you'd like to see more from me, and subscribe. So let's get into the video. Belonging is such a strange thing. Belonging and loneliness and feeling like you don't have the right friends and you're not in the right place and you're just different. One of my favorite, I don't remember the exact quote, but one of my favorite people who talk about belonging is Brene Brown. And if you've watched my videos, you'll know that I talk about her pretty frequently. The way she talks about belonging really resonated with me because the way she describes it is that it's not belonging to one person or several people. It's not belonging to a place. It's belonging to yourself, feeling like no matter who you're with and where you go, you always belong. And that really struck me because I had to take a step back and kind of think about it. Like all the times where I felt like I didn't belong, all of the times where I felt I was out of place or I just felt different. It wasn't because of the people I surrounded myself with, although that does have some kind of factor to it. And it wasn't because I wasn't in the right place at the right time. It was because I felt like I didn't belong to myself. The ultimate feeling of belonging is being content with who you are as a person. When you feel like you belong to yourself, when you're content and confident and you stick to your decisions, you don't question it, you don't think about other people's opinions, that is true belonging. When you can be strong in your word, still knowing your values and, saying sorry when you messed up, but having the confidence to say, I'm going to make this decision and I'm not going to think about how it might affect this person as long as it's not going to harm them. And once I kind of began to understand that and went on my own journey of self-discovery and trying to find my real confidence, I began to realize that she was right. I've moved in the last probably 5 years, like 4 different times. Once you are truly content with yourself and where you're at in life, you do feel like you belong. No matter who you're with, even if you're by yourself. What's tough about belonging is really just the society we live in. It's very, very difficult to feel confident when we're in the society we're in. I'm getting so close to just deleting every single social media app. It's awful. Every single time, no matter how long I'm on there, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, it doesn't matter. As soon as I get on there, I immediately feel like inadequate. I feel like I'm not doing the things that I should be doing. I'm not going after it. I'm not working hard enough. I'm not looking good enough. I'm not feeling good enough even. People who like talk about how they're doing this and it's bettering their mental health, whatever. It's so frustrating sometimes to be in that just sort of toxicity, like in that community and constantly comparing yourself to other people out there. Anyways, it's just social media can be so toxic. So it is hard to find that feeling of content within yourself when you're surrounding yourself with that kind of media. And it's not just social media, it's like the movies we watch and the shows and the news and the articles that we read and the books that we read and yada yada yada. It's all the content that we consume that has an effect on how we view ourselves, what we say to ourselves when we look in the mirror, what we see when we look in the mirror every single day. And so I'm doing my best, although I feel like I don't know, I just feel like the world is crazy sometimes. And it is hard to like be confident in yourself when you do consume all that. So really the only solution is not consuming all of that toxic media, or at least limiting yourself to do that. Another thing that's tough with belonging is that when we're consuming all this media, when we're comparing ourselves to other people, we think about our life and what we're doing, how we are maybe unhappy or unfulfilled or not doing the right things or don't have the right job or the right friends or live in the right place or the right space. We're constantly comparing ourselves to all of those things. We feel inadequate. We feel like we're not up to everyone else's standards. So even when we're surrounded by people, our friends, we still feel like we're not worthy. We still feel like maybe we'll never get to that place, or we shouldn't belong because we don't have this thing, right? And that's not saying anything about those people. It's saying something about you. So yes, you can be surrounding yourself with the wrong types of people who maybe make bad decisions and are making you make bad decisions. That's obviously a factor. I think it's important to take a step back sometimes, take a really good look at your life, who you choose to surround yourself with, what decisions you're making on a daily basis. Is that harming you? Or better yet, if you continue to make those decisions and surround yourself with those people, where do you see yourself in a year? Or how about 5 years? So I think with belonging and finding confidence, being content with yourself, you have to make some pretty harsh decisions when it comes to your own life, because really the only way you'll be fulfilled is if you feel like you're doing the right thing. And so sometimes you have to take a step back and ask yourself, well, am I doing the right thing? Really only you know the answer to that. If that's where you want to be, then yeah, you are doing the right thing. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you feel like you don't belong, there's a reason for that. And that's what you have to look for. You have to look for the right questions to ask yourself. Going back to Brené's quote about belonging, I honestly don't know if I've ever truly felt that. There have been moments in my life where I've definitely felt like I could be anywhere. I could be with anyone. I'm just really happy with myself right now. I'm super proud of myself. Or moments where it's kind of half of that, where I could be anywhere doing anything as long as I'm with this group of people or this specific person. Yeah, so I think it's a constant work in progress. But if you do feel like you don't belong, just know that you're not the only one who feels this way. And I think we all go through stages of life where we're at a really low point and we feel like things aren't going right and we don't feel fulfilled and we don't feel adequate and we don't feel like we're surrounding ourselves with the right people and we're not in the right place. And I know everyone's situation is super different, and what I've really come to realize is that no matter how low your low is, it's your lowest low. And so when you compare your lowest low to someone else's lowest low, it's difficult if you feel like you are in the low, or you were in the lower position. I don't even know if I'm explaining this right, but just the feeling of where you were at your lowest low. It's comparable. It's the exact, maybe not the exact, but that's how that person felt at their lowest low. And the same goes with the highs. So that's why I wanted to bring up how comparing ourselves is really at the core of belonging. When we don't feel adequate, there's a reason for that, right? Is it because we're comparing ourselves? Or is it because we're actually not doing the right thing? Or is it because some other reason? It's all connected, and that's why belonging is so tough. But I do finally feel like I'm at a place in my life where I do feel like I belong, or I can belong with a lot of different people. And I can belong in a lot of different places. So I'd say that's a step in the right direction. I'd say that's progress. I'd say maybe we're doing the right things here. I don't know. But if you do feel like you don't belong, I really urge you to maybe look in the places you've never looked before. Take a good look in the mirror. Start asking yourself those questions. Get help when you need help. Surround yourself with people who are going to support you and uplift you. And find things that bring you joy. Find reasons to keep pushing through. Or find solutions to things that aren't working right now. I do think that we all can get to a place where we belong. It's just a matter of looking in the right place or looking at the right time. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and got some use out of it as always, and I will see you next time. Bye.